that price, you also get building plans already approved by the city. Renderings of what the approved home looks like are beautiful, but keep in mind that the $1.85 million is only for the lot. The realtor is expecting a bidding war on the plot. Welcome to San Francisco.
Exactly.
That's a tiny lot.
I mean, how much higher can this go? I guess, you know. The Henry Viola Zoo is undergoing some behind-the-scenes changes. What they include.
We're learning more about the man accused of killing his ex-wife in Beaver Dam. We'll have the very latest.
Plus, spring cleaning is underway on many of Madison's streets. We'll introduce you to one street sweeper who you might recognize.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Eric is on vacation this week. Tonight, Dane County's Public Works Committee will vote to spend more money on the Henry Viola Zoo this year, adding more staff that will be needed starting next week.
On Sunday, the contract will expire between the county and their fundraising partner, the concessions operator, the Zoological Society. Amanda Quintana is live at the zoo with all the details. Amanda?
Yes, well, when that contract expires at the end of the month, the county will take on some of the responsibility of on-ground attractions like the carousel here, marketing, things like volunteer efforts, and including concessions, things that the society currently does right now. Now, for 9 new staff members and for all that extra work, the county is asking for more than $600,000 to go into the budget for the zoo. That's something they're going to be voting on tonight.
The carousel will keep going, the concessions will remain. So families who come here to experience the zoo will experience the same as they have.
Dane County Executive Joe Parisi says the Henry Viola Zoo will operate April 1st the same way it's operating today. Despite their contract with their longtime fundraising partner, the Zoological Society, the nonprofit that operates concessions and on-ground services, expiring on Sunday. Parisi saying it's time for that relationship to end.
Continuing to do something one way, just because that's the way we've always done it, is not how we should be doing business. We will engage in this process because at the end of the day, I have a responsibility to my community, a responsibility to do what's best for our zoo, not necessarily what's easiest.
He says the county is making these changes to keep the zoo's accreditation with the AZA, the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. This includes asking for more money in their budget to hire 9 more zoo staff and to hire a consultant, an expert who can tell them how to have a better relationship with their next fundraising partner.
A 100-year relationship is really ending in about 4 weeks' time. And we've just been really confused as to why. Up until the time the county decided to change the operating structure, we've really seen a successful partnership.
Amy Supple, the Zoological Society's vice chair, is holding on to hope that the county will accept their recent proposal that gives the county operation of the grounds, but asks that the society keep fundraising. And she says the AZA never mentioned their partnership being an issue.
The report actually lauds our role and the successes that we've had. Not having us as a partner actually could be detrimental to the AZA accreditation and not the reverse.
While Parisi expects the society to try to be their fundraising partner again when they ask for proposals in the future, Supple says that would be difficult.
As of Sunday, we will no longer have employees. We will no longer be an operating and functioning organization.
That vote to set aside more money is at 5:30 at the City County building. Supple tells me that she will be there to make her case for sticking with that partnership with the society. Now, also on the agenda, they will vote to change the concessions operator to Center Plate. That's the same operator over at the Alliant Energy Center.
All right, Amanda, thank you. We should also mention that WISC-TV has a joint marketing agreement with the Friends of the Henry Viola Zoo, which includes various things like sponsorship of zoo events and the weather camera you see on the air. Thanks again, Amanda. A second Dane County judge has blocked a portion of Republican-backed laws limiting Governor Tony Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul's powers. Judge Frank Remington today blocked language that requires Kaul to get legislative approval before settling cases. His order stems from a lawsuit by unions that argue the laws steal power from the executive branch. Republicans passed the measures in a December lame duck session after Evers and Kaul, both Democrats, defeated Republican incumbents. Last week, a Dane County judge blocked all the laws in a lawsuit by liberal-leaning groups alleging that the December session was illegal. Republicans have asked a state appeals court to stay Judge Neese's ruling.
Let's get a first check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Looks like another nice day here across southern Wisconsin. We had plenty of sunshine. Temperatures a couple degrees warmer than yesterday, and that trend will continue into tomorrow. As we take a look at visible cloud track, just some mid and high level clouds across the state. Those will thin out tonight. Doppler track, very dry, which is good news. We can use more dry weather. We've been saying that day after day, but it is true. Low temperatures this morning started out on the chilly side. Here in Madison, we dropped to 20 degrees. Some locations to our north and east were in the upper teens. High temperatures today, though, were in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees, especially west of Madison. Temperatures were around the 50-degree mark. A little cooler near Lake Michigan, not as cold as it was yesterday, although right now temperatures are still in the upper 30s to lower 40s near Lake Michigan. Inland, temperatures mainly mid-40s to around 50 degrees. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will only fall to around the freezing mark at 32 degrees. We'll look for skies to become partly cloudy for tomorrow, but it will be windy and milder with a high temperature of 60 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you.
New details emerging out of a Beaver Dam homicide.
A man charged with killing his ex-wife there over the weekend appeared in court today. Our Keely Arthur has a closer look at the criminal complaint. Keely?
Prosecutors say Ulysses Medina Espinoza killed his ex-wife amid a custody dispute. Espinoza is facing homicide charges in the death of Stasia Hollinshead. According to court documents, Hollinshead was in Beaver Dam with their daughter visiting Espinoza's parents. Espinoza showed up at the home and shot Hollinshead at least 15 times while their daughter was inside. When questioned by police, the 5-year-old told them he, quote, shooted my mom. Documents allege Espinoza had become more erratic since Hollinshead was granted sole custody.
One witness was the defendant's mother. Upon the police officers entering the kitchen, the defendant's mother exclaimed, quote, he killed her, he killed her, he killed her. When police attempted to confirm whether it was the defendant who had killed someone, the witness pointed at the defendant and indicated yes.
Now the firearm was located in the kitchen sink. Cash bond was set today at $2 million. Beaver Dam police say this is the city's first homicide in more than 30 years.
Keely, thank you.
Empire actor Jussie Smollett is no longer facing a 16-count indictment after Cook County prosecutors dropped the felony case against him. A grand jury indicted Smollett on charges for staging a hate crime and filing a false police report after claiming 2 masked white men attacked him and tied a noose around his neck last January. Investigators say the actor hired 2 brothers to assault him because he was unhappy with his salary on the show. Neither brother was charged. Smollett agreed to forfeit his $10,000 bond, but the mayor of Chicago says there's an ethical cost.
People that of all walks of life and backgrounds, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation. Now this casts a shadow of whether they're telling the truth, and he did this all in the name of self-promotion.
Smollett was cut from the final episodes of Empire this season. Today, 20th Century Fox issued a statement saying they are gratified that all charges against him have been dismissed.
A package of bills is aiming to increase wages for Wisconsin nurses. The CNA Pay Act was introduced today by Democratic lawmakers. The bills aim to increase wages of personal care workers, as well as making training more affordable and accessible for nursing aides and caregivers.
Wisconsin's caregiver shortage has reached a crisis level. We cannot afford to stand by and do nothing anymore. It is time that we pay those who care for our most vulnerable family members and neighbors a living wage.
Right now, the starting hourly wage for caregivers in Wisconsin is $10.75 an hour.
Governor Tony Evers is touring additional areas impacted by spring flooding in Wisconsin. The governor plans to visit Fond du Lac and Darlington today and meet with local officials. Several hundred people were evacuated from their homes because of ice jam flooding along the Fond du Lac River earlier this month. That's when Evers declared a state of emergency for much of the state as heavy rain and melting snow flooded roads, fields, and communities. And spring cleanup is underway for the city of Madison. That means street sweepers are out and about.
They have some reminders for people here to help make the sweepers' jobs a little bit easier. Jamie Perez is with us in the studio now with those reminders from a friendly face you may have seen around town, Jamie.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it is about that time of year, right? The street sweepers are just trying to get all of that salt and sand and other grit off the streets so that it doesn't flow into the stormwater system. Well, I tagged along with one of their sweepers today who shares what you can do to help him out. Plus, you might actually recognize him if you're a sports fan. Well, we finally got over the bone-chilling temperatures this winter brought us, which means we're going to see a lot more street sweepers out and about.
The higher you can go is 5 miles an hour.
That's Felix. He's been doing this for the past 3 years. To make their jobs a little easier, Felix has some tips for you to follow this spring.
There's many things that people can help us do it. It's being nice if people don't park in the street. People don't should put the recycling and garbage bin in the street. When they put it in the street, we have to go around and all that stuff stay there. So.
Felix says this job has taught him a lot.
It's teaching me how to be patient with people.
A job skill that didn't necessarily transfer over from his former job.
It's very difficult when you playing a professional sport to come and to do this job. It's a big change.
In 1987, Felix moved to the U.S. from the Dominican Republic to play for the Oakland A's, the Reno Silver Sox, and the Madison Muskies.
It's a big jump.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
An injury and surgery prevented him from playing again, so he switched over to doing this. It's different, but some of his job skills did transfer over, like working as a team.
It's teamwork. We just keep working on to when we get it done.
He works with other city staff to make our streets look squeaky clean.
I love the job, and either way, you have to get used to because you have to work.
One thing that is vastly different for him is how fast he can go. Street sweepers cannot go over 5 miles an hour, which is a lot different than how fast he used to pitch a ball.
98.
98, and now you're down to 4 miles an hour.
Now I'm down in 4 miles now, yeah. It's a big difference, but what can I say? It's life.
Yeah.
Life throws you all over. You never know where you're going to end up and what you're going to do with your life.
Felix had to do some adjusting to be able to provide for us. So making sure the streets are clear so he can do his job is the least we could do for him, right?
Love this job. I love to do what I do.
Felix and other street sweepers will be out for the next 6 weeks. Last year, they were able to collect more than 1,500 tons of debris, but they say they could have collected even more if the streets were clear. So this is kind of just a reminder to help people like Felix out so he can help keep our streets squeaky clean.
Get your car off the curb, put
Exactly.
it in the driveway. All right. Thank you very much, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. Doctors say this spring break time right now is the perfect time for you to get your kids to get their vaccines. More than half of the country is seeing high levels of flu-like illnesses right now, with 390 flu-related hospitalizations being reported in Wisconsin just last week. There have also been more than 200 cases of measles confirmed in 12 states. Doctors say a new flu strain going around now has more severe symptoms than the strain that went around earlier this year. Doctors say that strain is covered by this year's flu vaccine.
I can attest.
Yes, you can. You've been victim, right?
It was bad. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at 5. The fight over President Trump's national emergency on the border continues in Congress. More on the new battle over Defense Department funding for the wall.
Democrats are upping the pressure on the Attorney General to release the full Mueller report.
And on Wall Street, the Dow Industrial's up 141 points. The NASDAQ gained 54. The S&P 500 was up 20. We'll be right back. The House voted and failed to overturn President Trump's veto of a resolution to block the national emergency he declared for his wall along the southern border.
While Democrats remain united in opposition, they did not have the two-thirds majority needed for a veto. The Department of Defense revealed this week it's shifting $1 billion to build 57 miles of fencing at the border in Yuma, Arizona, and El Paso, Texas. The acting defense secretary says the funds were freed up after the Army fell short of recruiting goals.
To look at the Pentagon as sort of a piggy bank / slush fund where you can simply go in and grab money for something when you need it really undermines the credibility of the entire DoD budget.
We have bipartisan support for the fact that our military budget should not be cannibalized for our border security needs. However, we have bipartisan disagreement on how to accomplish that because I believe that Congress needs to fund closing the border.
The White House says it wants a total of $6.1 billion in military money from anti-drug funds and military construction projects.
The Mueller investigation may be finished, but the fight over its findings appears to be just getting started. On Sunday, Attorney General William Barr released a letter summarizing Special Counsel Mueller's investigation. It said Mueller did not find that the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it conspired or coordinated with Russia. Barr says that while Mueller's report does not conclude that the president committed a crime, it also does not exonerate him. Democrats are emphasizing that last point as they push for access to Mueller's work.
Great respect for Special Counsel Mueller, but let us see the report.
The Mueller investigation is the gold standard, and if the investigators on Capitol Hill want to continue, it will be seen as hyper-partisan and politicized.
The Democratic chairs of 6 House committees sent a letter of their own to the Attorney General. It says his 4-page summary was, quote, not sufficient for Congress, and gave him a week to deliver Mueller's entire report to them.
Just days after the anniversary of the Affordable Care Act becoming law, the Trump administration filed a legal motion to have the law completely struck down. In a legal filing yesterday, the Justice Department sided with a federal judge who ruled that the Affordable Care Act is unconstitutional based on the insurance mandate. Should that ruling stand, the entire law would be struck down.
If you have a pre-existing condition, or if you need preventive services, or if you want a young adult up to age 26 to stay on your health plan, these are all protections that would be lost.
The case is currently pending in the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals in Louisiana, where a ruling could be months away. Currently, nearly 20 million Americans rely on the law for coverage, and millions more benefit from the law's patient protections.
All right, let's get a look now at your first alert weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has your forecast. Gary?
Boy, it's another nice day today. Lots of sunshine across southern Wisconsin. In fact, most of the upper Midwest had plenty of sunshine. Just a few mid and high level clouds streaming through. Thicker clouds out to the west. You can see how they've been diminishing as they push eastward. That's because the air is still pretty dry across Wisconsin. And a Doppler track, again, no precipitation really to speak of anywhere across the upper Midwest, which is good news. Taking a look at the precipitation that we're expecting toward the end of the week, the computer models have pushed the heavier rain even farther south. Yesterday, they were showing about maybe an inch of rain in Madison. Now they've dropped it to about 1/4 of an inch of rain, with the amounts closer to an inch down along and south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. Still the heaviest rain expected to push through much of central Illinois and farther to the north. Again, very little rain expected over northern Wisconsin, where there's still a little bit of snow on the ground. There could be a little bit of snow associated with this system. I'm thinking there could be some minor snow accumulations Friday night, mainly on grassy areas north of Madison. I think these areas to the south and east, some of this may come down as snow, but it'll melt as it hits the ground. So we're not expecting any snow accumulations through much of the viewing area. And what snow does stick to the ground late Friday night will go away on Saturday. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville and WISC Skycam showing plenty of sunshine out there. The Edgewater Skycam downtown Madison showing hazy sunshine over downtown Madison. As we check out the almanac for today, low temperature a little colder, 20 degrees early this morning, but our high temperature of 48 degrees is right where we should be. And right now we're at 47 degrees with partly sunny skies, winds out of the south-southwest at 9 miles per hour. Notice that dew point, 10 degrees. The relative humidity only 22%, so the air very dry. That's why those clouds have been really dissipating as they push into Wisconsin. Current temperatures are generally in the 40s to the lower 50s. Still cooler near Lake Michigan, a narrow band of about maybe 5 or 10 miles where temperatures are in the 30s from Door County through Milwaukee and down into the downtown areas of Chicago. But as we take a look at the satellite view across the country, one storm system has moved through the northeastern portion of the country. That has buckled the jet stream, allowing our jet stream to actually push northward. And that's what's going to start warming us up for the next day or two. The next weather system pushing through the Pacific Northwest will move eastward, but that will follow along and stay just to the south, at least the heaviest precipitation just to the south of Wisconsin. So we'll see the lighter precipitation here, which is good news. Just a few passing clouds here, and then the thicker clouds are farther out to the west. There's actually a cold front out there. Mild conditions on the other side of this warm front. Take a look where the temperatures are in the 60s to lower 70s as far north as South Dakota. On our side of the front, they're still mild, but not as mild as they are farther to the west. But we'll still look for high temperatures around 60 for tomorrow. So for tonight, look for skies to be generally clear with maybe some mid and high level clouds. Low temperature dropping to 32, so not as cold as last night. Tomorrow's high temperature topping out at 60 thanks to brisk southerly winds. As we check out future track, again, those temperatures dropping off into the lower 30s by early tomorrow morning, maybe a few more clouds overnight. Then tomorrow, partly sunny, windy and mild. High temperatures up around 60. Tomorrow night, some clouds moving in, maybe a stray shower there. Low temperatures dropping into the upper 40s. And then high temperatures still in the upper 50s for Thursday with variably cloudy skies. But taking a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice rain chances on Friday, could mix with some snow Friday night into Saturday before it comes to an end. And then temperatures back into the 50s toward the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, right now on the Beltline, we're seeing some slowdowns on the eastbound Beltline, especially around Park Street. That's the live view from the DOT camera. If we check out the map, looks like the slowest of the traffic in the eastbound direction starts just to the west of Monona Drive and goes back to around Park Street. Westbound, not seeing any major issues there. So right now it's about a 15-minute commute in the eastbound direction from the interstate to University Avenue, 18 minutes back going toward the east, 26 minutes out to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes to Middleton, or from Middleton to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes out to Sun Prairie on US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert traffic.
All right, thanks, Gary.
Ahead at 5, how some safety advocates are pushing for new legislation that might help prevent some of the most serious crashes on U.S. roads. That's coming up after the break.
Some of the most serious accidents on the road happen when a car collides with the side of a tractor trailer.
It's estimated underride crashes kill around 200 people every year, but experts say it could be much worse. Safety advocates are pushing lawmakers to pass legislation that will require tractor trailers to have guards or safety strips. Consumer Reports' David Freeman says the measure can stop a car from going underneath, preventing severe damage.
You need big companies and you need Congress to step up to ensure that this technology is on every truck across America.
There are currently laws requiring rear guards. Supporters want the same for the side, but the safety measure would add weight to a tractor trailer, increasing costs for manufacturers and truckers. We'll have another check of your weather when we come back.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on tonight. In Chicago, prosecutors drop charges against Jussie Smollett. Police and the mayor call it a whitewash. We will break down what happened. We have a new Eye on America report, the powerful message from the parents of a teenager gone too soon. And the inspiring principal who found an unusual way to clean up his school. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And tomorrow will be the best day of the week, right?
I think so, yeah. Temperatures up around 60 degrees, kind of windy. Temperatures right now, upper 40s to around 50 degrees. But you can take a look at that 7 to 10 day forecast. 60 for high tomorrow, close to 60 on Thursday, and then cooler for the weekend. Maybe a little snow mixed in, but shouldn't amount to very much.
That's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. Thanks for watching.